And just like that, Steven Universe is back. After years of silence, we finally have an official sequel, Lars of the Stars, following Lars Barriger and his pirate crew as they smuggle contraband, evade the authorities, and uncover the darkest secrets of the fallen Gem Empire. Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but I absolutely called this in my Steven Universe sequel, Possible Plotlines video. This was literally one of the scenarios I predicted. It's safe to say the fandom is collectively losing its mind, but here's the million-dollar question. What exactly is this show going to explore? Where is it set in the timeline? And just how deep into the Empire's rotten underbelly are we going? Let's break down the possibilities because there are a lot of directions this could go. Let's start with the setting. A lot of people are assuming this takes place after the events of Steven Universe Future, but that's not a given. There's a real chance this show could be set before the Empire's official dismantling. Think about it. We never got a full picture of what Lars and the Off-Colors were up to after Steven left him on Homeworld. One day, he's getting used to his whole resurrected zombie space prince deal, and the next, boom, he's captaining a starship. What happened in between? This could fill in that missing timeline, showing their missions, their run-ins with authority, and the formation of their tight-knit crew. But let's assume for a second that this is post-Change Your Mind. Now that opens up a whole different narrative, a reverse rebellion perhaps. The first rebellion in the series was led by Rose Quartz, fighting to break free from a rigid caste system. But what if now we're facing the opposite? Factions that want to go back. There are likely still colonies clinging to the old ways, led by gems who think this new peace is weakness. We've already been strategically introduced to some characters who could play into this. Aquamarine, probably furious that her status means nothing in this new world order. She's cunning, ruthless, and has every reason to want the old system back. Holly Blue Agate, a gem whose entire purpose was maintaining order in the zoo. Her authority has been completely undermined. She's probably desperate to reclaim her position of power. Eyeball, the rogue ruby. These aren't just random villains. They represent something deeper. They're gems who found meaning, purpose, and identity in the very system Steven fought to destroy, and now they're lost, angry, and potentially dangerous. Imagine Lars and his crew stumbling into colonies that have refused to disband, where gems are still maintaining the old caste system in secret. Picture the philosophical conflicts this could create. Is it right to force change on those who don't want it? What happens when liberation feels like oppression to those being freed? But let's talk about the heart of this show, the Off-Colors themselves. Each of these characters has a story that deserves to be told, and this series is our chance to finally get those answers. We know fluorite is a fusion of 6 gems, but who are they? How did they find each other? What drove them to fuse permanently? There's something beautifully tragic about gems who were so rejected by society that they literally became inseparable from each other. I'm expecting some genuinely emotional backstory here. And then we have what might be the most heartbreaking story of all. Rhodonite is the fusion of a ruby and a pearl who kept falling in love, getting caught, and being rejuvenated by their cruel morganite. They lost their memories over and over again, but somehow, someway, they always found each other. Think about the implications of that. Love so strong it transcends memory itself. The tragedy of losing yourself repeatedly, but still being drawn to the same person. The cruelty of a system that would punish love itself. And what about Padparadscha? There's probably a painful history of being labelled defective. What happens when a sapphire's flaw leads to actual disaster? Who did she fail? Then there are the Rutile twins. We've seen the surface, 2 minds in one body, but what was it like growing up realizing they weren't like other gems? That kind of internal dissonance, especially in a world as conformist as Homeworld, must have left deep scars. Let's not forget the Gem Empire colonized entire planets and left a trail of devastation behind. In Why So Blue, we saw the effects of terraforming, helpless creatures, ruined ecosystems, life reduced to collateral damage. So who's to say there aren't alien civilizations out there still furious with the gems? Lars and the crew could encounter survivors, rebels, or even Avengers bent on justice or revenge. This show could expand the Steven Universe galaxy into something bigger, darker, and more morally complex than we've ever seen. The official teaser mentions uncovering the darkest secrets of the fallen Gem Empire. That's not throwaway language. That's a promise. What secrets could be darker than what we already know? We know about the forced fusions, the shatterings, the colonization, the oppression. What could be worse? Maybe we'll finally learn where the diamonds came from. Are they natural formations? Created beings? The last survivors of an even older civilization? The show has always been vague about gem origins, but this could be our chance to dive deep into their mythology. What if the diamonds weren't the original rulers? What if there was something before them? something they destroyed or overthrew? What if they're not the beginning of gem civilization, but rather a chapter in a much longer, darker story? We assume gems colonized worlds for resources, but what if there was a deeper purpose? What if they were running from something, preparing for something? What if the entire empire was built out of fear rather than greed? The cluster was horrifying, but what if it wasn't the only experiment? What if there are other hidden projects, other abominations created in the name of gem superiority? You're telling me Lars wouldn't find a haunted diamond ship in deep space and accidentally trigger a centuries-old secret? Now, they'd be insane not to throw in a cameo episode. You know the one. Lars swings by Earth for repairs, visits the Big Donut, and casually bumps into Steven, Connie, maybe even the crystal gems. Cue the heartstrings. Cue the fan tears. Cue the internet's implosion. Lars of the Stars is an opportunity to explore the consequences of the original series' victory. What happens after you win? What happens when the system you fought against crumbles, but the people within that system are left behind? This show has the potential to be more mature, more complex, and more morally ambiguous than anything Steven Universe has given us before, which is why it's awesome that it's being hosted on HBO rather than Cartoon Network, so more mature themes can definitely be explored. Whatever route this show takes, prequel, sequel, or something in between, Lars of the Stars is shaping up to be a rich new chapter for the Steven Universe legacy. It's got the potential to blend space opera, rebellion drama, and character-driven storytelling in the way this series has always done best. So yeah, buckle up. Whether you're here for the lore, the characters, or just to hear Lars scream again, this ride's going to be wild. And as always, let me know your theories in the comments. Who do you think the villain will be? What dark secrets do you think the diamonds are hiding? Let the snooping begin. If you decide to become a paid channel member, join my Discord, and I'll add you to the YouTube members channel, where you'll have early access to the thumbnails of my videos, links to exclusive videos. You'll get to engage in polls such as voting on what the next topic should be. You'll be able to let me know the topics you want me to touch on. The list goes on. See you in the next one.